It is Friday, so we're about to hit the weekend. Welcome to another edition of the Cyber Coffee Clutch. I'm Rob Downs with Managed IT Solutions, and the good news is no huge news this week on any additional cyber hacks. However, we are still feeling the impact from last week's CrowdStrike. Well, not really a cyber attack, so much as a failure of software. Estimates right now are in the billions for costs. The big question is who's going to pay for it? CrowdStrike, of course, will be protected by their end-user license agreement, or at least they think they will, which means lots of people's insurance companies are going to be taking the hit, as well as research insurance companies. I guess at one point CrowdStrike had been doing some Uber Eats for IT or for people who were affected, and it was taken advantage of too much, and so they canceled that program. So who knows? So yeah, billions of dollars in costs. Top that with the CDK Global cyber attack. That was an actual hack. They ended up paying, I think, $25 million to get their stuff back after a few weeks of being down. That is the hubbub. The rumors, at least, nothing confirmed. Most clients or most companies will not confirm what they paid for ransom. Estimates for costs on that one was also in the billions of dollars. The estimate was for the month of June that they would affect the nation's GDP by 3%. That means that for the quarter, that one hack decreased the GDP of the United States as a whole 1% for the quarter, and will be 0.25% of the total GDP for the United States for the year. Doesn't sound like a lot of 0.25%, but we're talking trillions of dollars. So 0.25% is pretty huge. So cyber attacks are serious. They do cost real money. And if people wonder why bad guys do it, it's because they make lots of money. They once asked John Dillinger, why does he rob banks? He said, that's because where the money is. Well, why do cyber attack guys attack? It's because that's where the money is. So one of the things that did come up last week from the CrowdStrike issue was the attempt of third-party bad actors to call around to various people and companies and try to pretend or impose to be either from CrowdStrike or from Microsoft to help the end user get past their issue. Here's one hint: is if your computer was on and running, they could get to it. You are not suffering from the CrowdStrike issue. It created what we like to call the blue screen of death, which is when Microsoft Windows fails hard, it resets itself and you get a blue screen with a bunch of white text. So that's blue screen of death. If you've never seen it, lucky you. I have seen my fair share and then some. But that brings up the fact that this happens quite a bit, where out of the blue people will get phone calls from quote-unquote Microsoft support or maybe some antivirus support, purporting that they're trying to call you to help you because your computer's been infected and that it's sending out massive spam or it's infecting other computers or something or the other, and then convincing the end user to allow them remote access. And of course, once they do that, they get control of the computers and then they put software on there and then you are infected. So that typically happens to more senior citizens, more so than anyone else. They did not grow up with computers. They did not work heavily with computers their whole career. And so they might not be familiar with these things. So if you know some folks who reach out to you and never ask, is this legit or not? It's not. We do get people who ask us on occasion, but typically it's after the fact that we hear about it, and we're doing cleanup more than we're doing anything else to try to make sure that whatever the hackers might have done, we can undo. And of course, we also recommend that people end up changing all their passwords, etc. One of the things you could do or can do is, do a sweep of your computer for passwords. There are a few tools out there that'll let you do it. I'll have to create a link in this, maybe in YouTube once it's done, and or Facebook. And then you can see all the passwords that your computer caches, which means if somebody gets to your computer, they can also do that type of scan and they can get your passwords. So not a lovely thing. Browsers are really bad about it. They've gotten better, but we always encourage people not to use the browser to cache their passwords. Use password manager for that. Also, don't use autocomplete as well if you can help it, especially not for credit cards. Don't let it store credit cards. One of the things that bad actors can also do, just as an FYI, is if you go to a website, they can have a form there for you to fill out for something innocuous. And it could be something legit too, or seemingly legit, I guess is a better way of putting it. But what they'll do is they can put in your credit card field, but the text is white on a white background. So you won't see it, but your computer will see it, and it will autofill that information for you because you've told it to do so. So don't use autofill. Don't store your passwords on your browsers. And a reminder, main part of this was tech support's not going to call you out of the blue from Microsoft or from your antivirus provider and ask to assist you and hop on your computer so that you can no longer be a threat to the world. So with that in mind, hope everybody has a lovely weekend. And if you're around in North Carolina, try to stay dry. It's a little rainy out there, but it's not like we don't need it. So